the internet, my name is Ibby and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program on Wings. I did some minor improvements to my spaceplane design, so I added another action group for the outer pair of engines, and this action group will switch between the two modes of this RAPIER engines, and this will hopefully help me to reach finally space with the spaceplane design without having the issue of starting to spinning, because they're losing some thrust and the automatic change or the automatic toggle of the two modes isn't doing a proper job like in the previous episode, as I tested the spaceplane engines, the RAPIER engines, and they did not change the modes, and my spaceplane starts all the time to spin and everything was screwed up. So this time I hope I'm good to go to climb up to space again, and I will hopefully reach space with more fuel left, and this will hopefully help us to fly up to Minmus and land on Minmus and finally return back to Minmus. And all we do this with Kerbin, our brave pilot, and he is looking forward to his great journey. Apart from doing this Minmus exploration again, I have also said in the last episode that I will start the career mode, and I'm really looking forward to this because, well, you have seen the problem in the last episodes, and here we have the same problem, because flying with space planes involves a lot of, or a very long ascent period, and yes, if I want to bring enough fuel into space, I have to, or I think I need to do this very slowly, like this one here, and this is using a lot of time for my Let's Play series, and so I'm thinking about if I reach space with the spaceplane, I can also launch some refueling missions and refuel my spaceplane. This was the idea in the previous videos, before I heard that the update of 0.23 will come out in this week, or better in the last week. So yes, I'm now thinking about, well, I'm thinking still about the same thing, that when I reach space, maybe I will build a more efficient space plane that has not so many engines and so many fuel tanks, and is more easier to handle and hasn't so many fuel consumption like this one. But I'm not quite sure how I will what I will do. And then if I reach space, I will just launch some refueling missions and refuel and fly in space without having all the time the very long ascent period. And on the other hand, that's why I'm really looking forward to the career mode, because in the career mode I will start with some rocket exploration, and rockets are much faster regarding to climb up into orbit, and so I'm really looking forward to do some more rocket actions before I will continue with my spaceplane exploration. I will first max out now the new text tree, and afterwards I will continue with this sandbox mode here with my Kerbal Space Program on Wings project, and I will also play the career mode with some spaceplanes and airplanes. So it will still be related to my original project with only spaceplanes and airplanes. So I'm looking pretty much forward to this. And yes, on the other hand, I'm also looking forward to do some other things, and also to skip a little bit the long ascending period. Of course, the other solution that came to my mind is that I just can launch or do the takeoff and the ascent to orbit with my space planes off camera, and just bring you in when I reach space and when we start to do our explorations. So yes, I'm not quite sure how I will approach the next spaceplane episodes in the sandbox mode, but I hope I will come across a good solution, and I'm mostly thinking about, if I found a good solution or a good spaceplane design, I will do one coverage of the takeoff, and bring it with you into orbit, and from this point on I will just launch some refueling missions and refuel in space, and this will hopefully slimline a little bit the exploration and the discovery of other things, of other celestial bodies with space planes, compared to the long episodes where I'm just doing the ascent and don't do anything else like climbing up to orbit, because as you see here I'm climbing with a very slow pace. When we see here, it's already 4 minutes 30 seconds since the takeoff, and I'm just past the altitude of 10 kilometers, and this is really slow. And well, I think this is a little bit boring for you, and it's also a little bit boring for me doing all the time only takeoffs instead of doing some interesting space flights. So I'm more looking forward to the career mode now, and I'm also looking forward to slim fast a little bit my space plane let's play series by doing, maybe as I saw it, some refueling missions or something like this. But at first we have to focus now to have a successful flight with these new RAPIER engines into space. That this spaceplane design is capable of reaching space. We have proven with Bob, who is currently still in orbit around Kerbin, and he will remain in orbit around Kerbin for a very long time. So yes, I'm looking forward to this. The spaceplane is able to reach space, as I already said. So we need to just do it a little bit more efficient, in an efficient way, and I hope I can do this with my new action group, that I can just switch the engine modes, and this will hopefully help us to reach space with more fuel left in our tanks. From this point on we can start to fly up to Minmus and land on this green little planet and return hopefully back to Kerbin again. And then we will start the career mode. So yeah, you have just to bear with me a little bit more until we reach space again, and we have climbed up to the very high altitude. We have currently reached an altitude of 14 kilometers, and we are still climbing up. This is good. I hope everything will work out fine. And yes, so I did also some small test flights with the RAPIER engines, and I think one of the main problems as well is the use of the nuclear or the atomic rocket motor, because it's so damn heavy, and I need to bring this heavy weight also up into space. This is not very helpful for building a very efficient space plane. So yes, the atomic rocket engine is very helpful for the travel in space when we reach space, but bringing this heavy rocket motor into space is a really hard task, and it's a lot of additional weight I have to bring up into space. And so yes, we have to deal with it, and this is all the time the same fight as usual, and we will reach in a short amount of time finally 20 kilometers, and then I will start to accelerate and increase my velocity. And by increasing the velocity, I hope I will have also some more intake air, and it will only a tiny amount of time I need to really use the other mode, the rocket motor mode, which uses the oxidizer and has a very high fuel consumption. This is all the time very problematic, because then I'm wasting a lot of fuel of my space plane, and I need the fuel for flying to other celestial bodies. Okay, we are almost reached 20 kilometers, so let me bring the nose a little bit more down so we can start accelerating even more. This is a bit a critical phase, because on the one hand I like to accelerate very fast, and on the other hand I like to still climb up to a higher altitude. So I need to find the right angle of attack to climb up and also to increase my speed, and without having the problem that I will start to descend because I have the wrong angle of attack. So yeah, we are trying to do our very best to reach space in an efficient way. And I hope everything will work out fine this way. I really like the idea of having these RAPIER engines, because having these two modes is really helping me. And as I already said in the last episode, as I built the space plane design, I really like the idea that I can now get rid of at least 2 engines, and 2 engines are also a lot of unused weight in space. Especially when I'm just using my atomic engine in space, so it's a good thing. I really like the new thing of Kerbal Space Program in version 0.23, and I'm very thankful for this, because this helps me to play around with my space planes, and now I have new ideas, or I have new tools to improve my space plane designs, and I will hopefully be able to build more efficient space planes in the near future, also during my upcoming career mode, and afterwards, after the career mode, again here in the sandbox game, when we start to really do space plane development and building more efficient space planes and slim fast our ascending profiles and so on. Okay. We are going up, and we are going very fast right now. Maybe I had also a problem with in my very first space plane flight in this new version of Kerbal Space Program, that I was doing a little bit wrong, or did a little too aggressive climb into orbit. And maybe this time it will work a little bit better. I'm not quite sure. Currently I'm accelerating very fast, this is good, and I hope this time everything will work out as intended. And I have also the impression that they have improved a little bit the SAS, because the space plane seems to be much more stable than before, but this could also be just a personal impression. And well, I haven't really looked into the changelog, and but one thing they also did is they gave Minmus some biomes, so I'm really looking forward to this in the career mode, when we not only have the biomes on Kerbin and on the moon, but also when we have some biomes on Minmus. So this is also a very nice thing, and I'm really looking forward to this, to have some more exploration of Minmus, instead of just going once to Minmus, and by doing so I've done all my science for Minmus also. So yes, this is also really cool that we can do some more exploration on Minmus in career mode and on science mode. And I see here one good thing, as I'm looking here at my current velocity and the intake in my spaceplane, because currently I have just more intake air left than before in my previous flight, and this is just related to the higher amount of velocity compared to the previous attempt, I think, or I hope. Or on the other hand, let's see. But I think this is really helping me as well, that I can accelerate very fast currently, and I'm doing a little bit different ascending profile. So let us see if we can this time reach space in a more efficient way. Oh, I think now the intake air is going down. Maybe what happens if I'm switching to this engine? Does it help a little bit, because this is accelerating even more a bit, and so I have some intake air left, and it's still a little bit more effective, or does a little bit more save my fuel than just switching over the modes. So I have the impression that it's helping me a little bit. And we are still going up and we are still accelerating. Okay. This is interesting because currently now we are not losing any more of the intake air and we are still using the normal mode of our jet engines or RAPIER engines. This is really nice. Okay, now the intake air has decreased by 0.01. And we are still accelerating, this is good. Oh, what now? They have automatically switched. This is amazing. This is really amazing. Why do they have now switched? I think I need to have a look on the... Okay, we are accelerating pretty fast. Let's switch off the outer pair of engines so I can save some fuel while we are accelerating. Let me have a look here at the orbital map. I think the good altitude for my Kerbin apoapsis was around 50 kilometers, as which I can use only the nuclear rocket engine. So it was in the previous version with my 0. Okay, now let's switch off these engines. Exactly. Okay. And in the end, I won't have much more fuel than in the other version. Than in the version with the 2 jet engines and the other 2 rocket engines. Huh. Okay. This is really strange and disappointing, I have to say. I really hope to have more fuel left with the new engines. And what the hell, why are you... Oh, do I need again to switch off these things here? Okay, this was also one of the problems, that the air intakes are working a little bit, that they are starting very slowly, that they have only a tiny amount of drag in the low altitude, but they have a high amount of drag in the high altitude. But when they switch off the rocket modes, then they keep open. So after closing them, now I am accelerating again. Okay, nice to know, very nice to know. But I would have loved that the air intakes would close themselves when the modes of the RAPIER engines are switching. This would really help me out. Because now I'm really struggling again of reaching space. Or, well, maybe not. But well, maybe not. This can still work out very well. I have a little bit an inclined orbit. Okay. This was also a problem because I was still in the atmosphere, and so I was fighting against the drag of my air intakes, and this was also a little bit unfortunate and wasted a little bit more fuel, but well, not as much fuel, but still I wasted some fuel, and this is also not very good. Okay. Do I need to we are still a little bit in the atmosphere, but we will leave the atmosphere in a short amount of time, so I don't need to keep my nuclear rocket engine running. I will just add here, not South Pole, I will just add here a maneuver node. So I'm well prepared to, and I have only 900 fuel left. Okay. So in general, even the new RAPIER engines with switching the modes haven't helped me very much to save fuel. This is really sad. I was so much looking forward to the new engines, and now I have almost the same fuel amount in space than before. Okay. So much about this. On the other hand, it was a little bit easier from the management because they just switched over, and this was nice. And I have to have a look inside the spaceplane hangar again to see if I can adjust the way when the switch will happen. Maybe it's altitude related or so, and maybe this will help me, but I'm not quite sure about this. So I have something to investigate in the time off camera or so. What do we need here? We are still somehow in the atmosphere, so let me bring back all our apoapsis to 100 kilometers. Like now. Or maybe I should use some external fuel tanks or some external fuel boosters like the real world space shuttle, and use them to bring myself into orbit instead of using only a single stage to orbit spaceplane design, and then I can maybe stage and get rid of the heavy booster tanks or the booster engines and only have some kind of rocket in space. This would work as well if I'm doing something like this, but in the end this is not a space plane anymore. This is more like a rocket or like the space shuttle, and it can only land or like a normal plane after the re-entry. So I'm not quite sure how I will approach this in the near future. There we have the moon, so we have missed our opportunity. Oh, I don't want to fly to the moon, of course. I want to fly to Minmus. So, sorry moon, it's okay that you are there and we can see you. You're not our goal for today. Okay, I totally forgot. I just wanted to prepare my maneuver node so I know how much of a burn I need. Only a tiny amount. This is really nice. Okay, let's fast forward to our maneuver node. And we see here the sun. This is nice. Let's have a break here. Let's extend our solar panels so we can recharge our batteries. Whoa, was too much. And I think I need a stronger reaction wheel or even more reaction wheels on this spaceplane design, because it's really slow in turning, and this is also not very helpful. Okay, now let's throttle full up. And let's bring ourselves into a stable orbit around Kerbin. Okay, we are almost done with our burn. Next up is the maneuver planning to fly up to Minmus. Okay, let's stop with that. Get rid of this maneuver node, and now where is Minmus, our dear friend? It's over there. Set it as a target. And now let's see, where do I need to do my burn? Oh, do we have? Yes, we have an encounter. Oh, this was really amazing. Now we have to play a little bit around with it. I need to be a bit faster. Ah, this is not good. Okay. So this is not very efficient, I think, but well, it's a way to fly up to Minmus, and this is the important thing. Can I adjust a bit my orbit here? What happens now? Okay, and now I'm leaving the sphere of influence, so I think the other one was still good. What? No, I don't want to have a Mune encounter, Minmus encounter. Can I already... Well, I think I will care for the periapsis when I'm ready, or when I'm approaching Minmus. So now we have our maneuver node. This is really great. Now let's turn towards our maneuver node, and then we will fast forward until we start our burn towards Minmus. And this time I'm not wasting so much fuel for changing my inclination to the Minmus inclination like in the previous flight tour or the previous Minmus exploration series. This time I'm using, or I can insert myself on a flight tour or a trajectory towards Minmus right away from my Kerbin orbit, and this will also save me some fuel, so I'm looking pretty much forward to land on Minmus, and afterwards I'm also pretty sure that I can return back to Kerbin. So now it's time to do our burn and insert ourselves on a trajectory towards Minmus. Okay, what about these tanks are completely empty, this is good. And these tanks are full, this is also good. Now we are doing our burn towards Minmus. And in a short amount of time we will be able to fly up there and hopefully are also able to land on Minmus again. And this time I will land on my nice little friends here, my landing struts, and so I'm not having the same struggle again with turning my spaceplane around when I'm approaching Minmus, like previously as I used the normal landing gear. And I think this will help us as well to have a more easier takeoff and to leave Minmus again after we landed there. Okay, Kerman is now enjoying his flight. This is really amazing that he likes what he is doing. And this is also very important that he's liking what he's doing. So I'm happy for him that he can live his dream and can enjoy what he's doing. So yes, while we see here the Mune, we are flying in our orbit around Kerbin and are doing our Minmus insertion burn. There's another disadvantage of the nuclear rocket engine because it's only so weak. It only has a thrust of 60 kilonewtons, so we have a very heavy space plane. It would help me a lot if I can use 2 rocket engines of the nuclear ones, but on the other hand this would also require to have more engines or more lift and more fuel, and everything would just get more heavier, and we will still have the same issue to reach space again. Okay, We are still doing our long burn. In a short amount of time we will see the sun again. This is also amazing. So let's continue with this. We can have a look inside our space plane and enjoy a little bit the view out here. Unfortunately, we only see a little bit the Milky Way here and not very much. But I won't start to turn my space plane around. This would for sure end in a lot of trouble and issues and so on, and so I'm not very interested in risking my space plane by turning around to see Kerbin. And as well, we are currently in the night side of Kerbin, so we won't see as much through this little tiny window of Kerbin. And yes, so we will more use the cinematic view here. Let's oh, this is looking interesting with all the air intakes in the light blue here. And soon we will see the sun again. This is also amazing. We are almost halfway through our burn. This is also important. And there is the sun. Woo! Finally back in the sun. What about our fuel? We still have a lot of fuel left. This is good. But we are also only halfway through our burn, so we need some more time and we need to use a little bit more fuel. And one thing, this is also a little bit hard for space planes, or is on the disadvantage side of space planes. I already mentioned it a little bit, but I haven't talked really much about this. This is because I'm using here the RAPIER engines, or previously on the 0.22 version of Kerbal Space Program I used the jet engines and the other rocket engines. I used so many engines to just leave Kerbin, or the atmosphere of Kerbin, to enter space and enter a stable orbit. And now I'm just using the nuclear rocket engine, so I'm carrying a lot of useless weight with me around, and I have no chance to get rid of them. Okay, I could add here some separators and just eject the rocket motors after I reach space, but on the other hand, then I'm not using any more real space plane, and it's also no longer reusable, so this is a little bit sad. And so this is the most disadvantage of our space planes, because we are carrying around so much useless weight with us, and this useless weight can be also used for other good things. So as I really like the concept of space planes, but currently the designs of space planes aren't as useful or as efficient as normal rockets, and so I need to see how I will build the next space plane design, which is hopefully a little bit more efficient. And yes, as I said, maybe it has not enough fuel on its own to reach space and then afterwards fly directly to another celestial body, so I need to refuel it. But on the other hand, if I do something like this, I don't have to carry around so many rocket motors, and maybe this could also help me to fly to distant targets without carrying so much empty weight with me. But I'm not quite sure how I will approach this. I think there is a lot of engineering ahead of me. I can use the time where we do the career mode to build a very efficient space plane, and when I finally build one of the efficient space planes, I'm hopefully also at the end of the tech tree, and then we can switch back to our sandbox mode here and continue the sandbox game, and have some more fun with real space planes and discover more distant worlds, because I would really love to fly with space plane also to distant celestial bodies, like at first Duner or maybe even Ilo or something strange like this. So this would be really amazing. Okay, and we are coming now towards the end of our insertion burn, towards our main goal of reaching Minmus. So I will start to throttle down in a short amount of time. Let's have a look here. Oh, this is interesting. We are using so many time to just come out of the near distance of Kerbin and to reach the the distance of Minmus. So yes, this is also very interesting to see the high gravity of Kerbin and the high energy. Hello, Moon. And the high energy required to leave Kerbin, and Minmus is almost at the end of Kerbin's sphere of influence. So yes, if we manage to reach Minmus, we can also easily escape Kerbin and have a flight around the sun or so. And we have still a lot of fuel left, I think, but I think the amount of fuel left in the space plane isn't enough to land on the moon. Okay, stop. Now we have our Minmus encounter. Hey, let me remove you. Okay. So we need to improve a bit our Minmus periapsis. We need to a bit improve our trajectory. But we will do this in the next episode when we finally fly up to Minmus. I hope you found a little bit enjoyment in this long period of ascending with my space plane into space and finally do the long insertion burn towards Minmus. And if you do so, or if you just want to see me what I'm doing when I reach Minmus, then I hope that you will watch the next episode of Kerbal Space Program on Wings. And so much for this. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked this video, as I said, and I hope that you will like my video on YouTube. And I would much appreciate if you become a follower of my YouTube channel. And I hope I see you again in the next episode. Until then, my name is Sebi. See you!